Yeah, starting off pretty huge. The Australian Federal Police and Border Force have actually intercepted a shipment of, get this, nearly 1 ton of methamphetamine trying to come into the country.
Jeez.
This has a street value of, guess.
Oh, 1 ton. I don't know, like
It's
a couple hundred mil.
Well, I don't know. This isn't my scene.
I don't know the prices. Give it to me in kilograms, damn it.
Yeah. It's $828 million.
Jeez.
So,
right.
obviously a huge import, and it was going
Massive
to...
bust.
And you wonder where they get sent to and things like that to keep it discreet, but it was getting sent to a furniture store in Sydney.
Right, okay.
So, yeah, and a 31-year-old got arrested for that during the interception. And, of course, in big sport news, this one's pretty fun. I mean, big, heavy focus on the Olympics, but did you see Snoop Dogg there?
Yeah, he is just involved in everything by the looks of it.
It's worth checking out because he's a correspondent for NBC, the American TV channel. So while he's over there, he's doing a lot of the talking, but he's doing the equestrian stuff with Martha Stewart. So, and we all know they're friends. I mean, it's been in the news before, but it is just such a strange idea, isn't it?
I think if you travelled back in time to the 90s and went up to Snoop D-O-double-G and said, hey, mate, 2024, you're going to be hosting, you're going to be a part of the Olympics, torchbearer, you're going to be best friends with Martha Stewart, no one would believe you.
Parallel universe. It's a strange thing, but while we're on the topic of the Olympics, overnight, Jess Fox has been eliminated from the women's kayaking. Really interesting. Her sister, Naomi, has got through. They were in the same race there, but that happened overnight. And congratulations to Meg Harris as well for a 50-metre freestyle final. She came silver.
Yeah, I saw she qualified for 4th or something and, ended up coming 2nd. So congratulations to her. That's your news.
Tom, there's so many milestone events in your life that hit you hard and they make you re-question everything. This is one I refuse to get around, though.
Right.
I refuse the milestone event. When we were over in Brisbane on our holiday last week, went over there for a few nights and we went to a nightclub.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, you had left. So I was there alone by myself at this nightclub, and what this girl said rocked me to a core. And I think it's stupid. I think it's so dumb, but I do want to get the Fresh Fam's opinion as well. In the line to the bathroom, chatting to this girl, she says, how old are you? And I was like, 25 in a few weeks. And then she says, isn't that a little too old for a nightclub?
Too old,
and I was
25.
like, what? And at this point as well, I'm not with any mates, so it hit extra hard. And I'm like, am I some weird old guy at the club right now? But then I thought, 25?
No.
That's a bit ridiculous. And I was like, what do you mean, 25? And then she turned around and said, yeah, maybe, should you not be at home with a girlfriend and kids? I was like, kids? What is this? And she was like 19, so I guess, her parameters are a little bit off. But it really begged the question to me. I was like, is it a little too old?
Yeah, look, I think we need to go to the phone lines here. What age is too old for the clubs? I don't think there is any age too old.
I don't think there's any age either, really. Like, you see mates and, people that that are in their 40s, 50s going to things and clubs. And we had the wineback parties, obviously with a lot of older people getting around the tunes. So I don't think there's any age either, unless you're like an older person trying to look young with like a couple propeller hat and a skateboard under your arm. There's things you can do to make yourself look better. But overall, I don't really think there's an age limit.
I don't think there shouldn't be an age limit on any clubs. 25, definitely not too old to be going to the clubs. But again, I don't think there is any age that you can say you're too old to be at the club. But let's get the Fresh Fam's opinion on this one. We got Cara from Glenelg North on the line. G'day, Cara. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Good, Cara.
Now, I'm going to tell you guys, I am disabled, so I have a mobility walker. I am 49, and I go clubbing in my sequins with my blinged up mobility walker.
Oh, awesome.
I love that, Cara. Absolutely great. What clubs are you hitting up?
I might go to, say, Crybaby, which turns into a club after a certain amount of night. Yeah. Any of the ones down the sides of Finley Street, side streets. And unfortunately, I don't remember most of the clubs I go to because I'm having too good a time.
Hey, Cara, we definitely need to go out for a drink and party it up. Is there an age where you think you'll stop going to the clubs, or is that just not in the near future?
It is not in the near future.
Good
and that
stuff.
19 can suck it, because when she's had 20 years of clubbing, then she can come back to me and say, whatever.
Yes, this 19-year-old girl needs to respect the veterans of clubbing. Take your hat off.
Good stuff, Cara. Hey, Jessica over in Seaton, what age do you think is too old for the clubs?
Oh, hi. How you going?
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah, Good. You're never too old for the club.
Never. Okay.
I'm 46 years old, and I was clubbing on the weekend. Never too old.
You beauty. Where'd you go, Jessica?
Mary's Poppin.
Hey, great
good
stuff.
spot.
I mean, yeah, there's plenty of people, I reckon, in their 40s and stuff that go to Mary's. I feel like that's a hot spot. I feel like no matter what, there will be a club for you, whatever age.
Absolutely. And Jessica, you don't think you'll stop clubbing anytime soon either?
I don't think so. I love dancing, right? So I want to go somewhere I can dance.
Jessica,
There's young people there.
what's the go-to dance move?
Oh, look, I got a lot.
Let's head to the text line. Somebody did say, Callum, OMG, if you're old, I must be ancient.
Yep. Big call there. 23 years old here. I'll never stop clubbing.
Yeah,
hey,
there we
good
go.
on you.
Somebody else just texted in here. I think between 30 and 50 is tragic, but then when you get older, that's when it's cool again to be clubbing.
See, that's an interesting one. That there's a little lull period for 20 years, and then you rinse off the clock. 50 years in, go back to the clubs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, this one here. Morning, welcome back, boys. I don't think you can be too old, but I also think there's an age where you probably need to grow up and leave the clubs for the kids.
Nah, no such thing.
No, not at all.
No such thing. Let's head over to the phone lines. We got Jess from Holden Hill. G'day, Jess. What age do you think is too old for the clubs?
Hey, boys. I don't really have an age that's too old for the clubs. I mean, I'm 24 myself, but my partner's actually 32. And look, he fits right in. We go out, and there's a handful of his mates as well, males and females. And, you know, they're not too old at all. They fit in with everyone. I mean, I think it comes to a point of how frequently you go out. I think that possibly stops and, you know, starts to be, okay, you know, you're going out 3 days of the weekend, every weekend, maybe you're a bit too old for this. But, you know, every once in a while, every second weekend or whatever, I don't think there's too much of an older age.
Sure, Jess. And I was just looking at a survey before that was done that actually says 37 is the age where typically people stop going out, but 31 is where it slows down heaps. Now, you said your partner was 32. Yeah. Is there any sign of slowing down, or is he just still pumping? He's loving it?
Oh, I think, like if it was that for family, I think he'd probably be going out every weekend. But yeah, look, time is limited, but we go out whenever we possibly can.
Good stuff.
Sounds like a party animal, Jess. You got yourself a keeper there. Hey, let's go to Ray in Henley Beach. Ray, how old are you, and is it too old for the clubs?
Oh, definitely not too old, mate. I'm early 40s, and like the club scene is still amazing no matter how old you are. There's no age limit for the dance floor. Like Meltdown Thursday night with Taylor was absolutely amazing at the district. The Woolshed over the weekend was happening, and when you're a little bit
you're
older,
loving it.
you actually have adult money, so you can fly to like Melbourne and Sydney. Like Ultra at the start of the year was epic.
True.
There might be a lot of younger people there, but hey, you're never too old to party.
Ray, I think we need to get you on as our nightclub correspondent. Tell us when the shed's pumping.
Nothing wrong with the Woolshed, mate. Nice and dirty, bit of fun on a Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah, that's it. Just be a constant weatherman down there. Tell us when it's good, when the sun's shining on that Woolshed.
Absolutely. Hey, Brett over in Port Adelaide, what age is too old for the clubs?
Well, guys, I'm 54, 55 next month, and I was at the Fisher concert at the Live Golf with my 16-year-old son in the mosh right up the front, and I did get some weird, funny looks, I can tell you right now.
Yeah. So I feel like a concert like Fisher, you'd be pretty safe, like all ages, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we were going off. It was an awesome show. I didn't stop bouncing for an hour and a half, but I did have a lot of chicks looking at me thinking like, what's this bloke doing here, you know? So, and I don't look my age without bragging. I probably, look about 40, but I had some weird, strange looks and felt a bit uncomfortable, but still enjoyed myself. Great show. It's not going to stop me, mate. I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. So when was the last time you went to an actual nightclub, Brett?
Oh, geez, mate, that would have been over 20 years ago. Easy, yeah.
Well, there we go. I think we'll have to get you out to a club this weekend, Brett. What do you think?
Oh, mate, nothing's stopping me, mate. I'm still going. Don't worry about that. I'll show them up. That's for sure.
Got a party on our hands. The huge show, Bluey. Obviously, the kids' show with the dog, I believe. Bluey! Yeah, massive. It is so popular right now.
Taking the world by storm, really.
Huge.
Yeah.
And it's gotten so huge that even Bunnings have decided to collab with Bluey, and they're doing Bluey gnomes.
Right, because I feel like Bluey is a bit of a gold mine at the moment. If you can team up with Bluey, it's a guaranteed money machine.
Well, I'm pretty sure Bunnings were talking about doing a Bluey world or something like that as well. So
yeah, I have heard about that.
A little
yeah.
space at a few of the Bunnings where it's all, kid-friendly playgrounds, Bluey stuff, all that kind of jazz.
Yeah, so they've released gnomes, you said?
Yeah, these big gnomes that pretty much you put in your garden.
Right, and they're of the
gnomes
Bluey characters.
of Bluey, yeah.
Okay.
And it's taken the world by storm, like you said, so much that people are going crazy over this. This is like Black Friday kind of
Right.
sales for the Bluey. And there's a few stories that have come out, even from the Parafield Gardens Bunnings, of what's happening over there.
Oh, so this is local happening
This
as well.
is local. In our own
All right.
backyard, this is what's happening with the Bluey craze. 2 incidences happened at the Parafield Gardens Bunnings over the last few days.
What are they? What's happened?
So apparently they're selling for about $19 each.
Okay,
a bunch
reasonable.
of people, a bunch of people are buying them and reselling them for about $200 on eBay.
Wow, what?
So that's how valuable they are right now.
But if they're only $19, why can't anyone just go down to the store and grab one?
You
Or
can't just go to the store
Are they
and grab
limited
one.
or something?
They are limited. So this is where the first story comes into play, that apparently a bunch of people have been buying a bunch of Blueys. You get 4, and then you can't get any more than that.
Oh, it's a limit to 4 per person.
4 per person, but then some people have been hiding them around the shop. So they'll come in 4 hours later and hope that the clerk at Bunnings doesn't recognise them.
The last time we heard about something like this, it was people, hoarding toilet paper for COVID. And now it is people trying to get Bluey gnomes.
Which the toilet paper was more of a necessity for
I
the,
understand
for
the
the human
toilet
race,
paper.
not so much the Bluey. But the last incident that's crazy that the advertiser have put in their report of Parafield Gardens, some old lady pushed a little kid out the way to grab the Bluey gnome.
Oh, you're joking.
It's push and shove now. Old ladies versus kids.
Delays are a really frustrating part of life, right?
Oh, hugely.
Whether it's public transport, a game, a movie, or a very common one, planes.
Yeah, I think it's just in our human nature, we want things to be streamlined. It has to be perfect, and anything outside of that, obviously, it's going to boggle your brain a little bit.
Oh, it's just annoying having to wait around. Like whether it's like 2 minutes or 20 minutes. To be honest, I'm just as annoyed either way.
Could be someone cooking 2-minute noodles and they did 2 minutes 30. That pisses me off.
Yeah,
It's
2 minute noodles, but it takes 3 minutes nowadays to cook these
Stick
things.
to the instructions.
What happened? But on our week off, we spent a few days over in Brisbane. Great
Yep.
sunny weather.
Awesome.
Yeah, nice little getaway. And on our way over, there was an unexpected delay. As someone like myself who doesn't love to fly, this was freaking me out just a little bit. So it freaked me out mainly because we'd left the gate. We're halfway down the runway. And I could smell something that it just didn't smell right.
Sure.
And then the plane started slowing down. Pilot makes the announcement. There's a technical issue. We're going to have to turn around, go back to the gate.
Yeah.
Straight away, I'm like, get me off this plane.
Yep, I've changed my mind. Brisbane looks good from the postcards, actually. I don't need to see the real thing. All good.
So we get back to the gate and, no one knows what's going on. We're probably sitting there for like 10, 15-ish minutes. And then police officers start coming on the plane.
Yeah.
What happened was old mate at the back of the plane, like he's at the back of the bus or something. He snuck on a couple beers. It's an unlicensed flight, so you couldn't buy drinks, you
Yeah.
couldn't bring drinks, and he got told don't drink these drinks, and he just started trying to pound him, and then got kicked off the flight.
Yep, so that's why the police came on, and you started to realise those fumes, those scents that you thought were a dangerous gas were simply...
Just a craft beer.
Yeah, his beer from down the back of the plane. And you're like, what are you doing, man? It's so selfish to smash back the beers and ruin everyone's... I mean, we got to Brisbane in the end, but it was delayed by another 40 minutes or so.
I'd say 45 minutes easy. Yeah. So we do want to go to the text line here, Callum. What caused the delay? How long was the delay?
We're really curious about this because I've personally never experienced a flight delay this bad until now, and it's for the weirdest reason. But you do hear about, traffic jams on the way there, car runs out of petrol, even when you're doing stopovers and layovers to other countries, they'll be like, oh, this one's cancelled, try this route. It's an extra 15 hours, by the way. Enjoy. Hope you like Melbourne as a stopover too. You hear about this stuff all the time.
Couple texts coming through here. Somebody's texted in saying, delayed in JFK airport when we landed because our plane got stuck in a pothole. had to wait to get towed out.
It seems like an insane thing to get stuck in a pothole for a plane, that once you get to the big automobiles, right, those huge vehicles, that potholes shouldn't seem to worry you.
Yeah, I mean, as well, how is there a pothole on the runway?
And what is a pothole for a plane? It's surely just a massive hole in the ground.
A crater.
A crater, yeah. A meteor strike was happening at JFK Airport. Got this text here as well. I was 30 minutes late for a job interview because it was so cold outside. I had to pour water on the windshield wiper. Got the job, but wasn't a great start. Wouldn't be.
No. Hey, let's head over to Anglevale. We got Matt on the line. G'day, Matt. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah,
Good.
very well, mate. What caused the delay?
Well, it was actually a volcano smoking, so it was
Wow.
over in Bali.
Yeah, okay.
So does this happen? You say this in the news a little bit, don't you, Matt? That volcanoes will, protrude a bit of smoke. And is this common?
Yeah, look, it's happened a couple of times, but never this bad, because we couldn't leave at all. They actually organised a shuttle bus to pick up the whole flight. We went to one of the best hotels I reckon I've ever been to and stayed a night and left the next day. It was brilliant.
So we're praising the volcano this morning, are we, Matt?
Every time I go, I cross my fingers it'll happen again, but it never has.
Forget the rain dance. There's a new volcano dance. Get that smoke going.
And Matt,
I don't need to go back to work.
how long were you delayed for? Was it a day, 2 days?
It worked out to be about 18 hours, so like a day and a half.
It's a decent little shop to stay around in a nice place.
I'd have been happy with longer.
Hey, Matt, we've got a double pass to Chicago the Musical coming your way.
Great, thank you.
Good on you,
Cheers,
mate.
Matt.
Thanks for getting involved. Callum, over the weekend, we had a party with a friend of ours. It was his 40th.
Yep.
And, it's a pretty esteemed family. Like, everyone in the family are doctors or specialists in some kind of way. So it's a pretty classy event.
It was one of those crazy ones that you do. Towards the end of the event, I had to ask our mate's mum and say, look, is everyone a doctor here? Because it is very impressive, and it's just one of those huge families of, big professionals. They've got a house in Burnside. It was very nice.
Yeah, and of course, I guess at these kind of things, there's a certain image you want to display of yourself and make it look like, the image that you want to be perceived about.
Sure.
And I got there a little earlier than you did, about 10 minutes, and then you finally rocked up, and I saw you pull out your phone and earphones out of your pocket.
Yep.
And then as you went to put them back in, something else came out of your pocket. And I was like, geez, what is that? It's on the ground. You hadn't noticed that you dropped it. And from closer inspection, you've come over to me, shook my hand to say
Sup,
hello.
man? Been good?
And I've realised what you've dropped on the ground.
Yeah.
Prophylactic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've dropped a condom.
It was like...
And it wasn't in a quiet area either. It was out on a deck where 90% of the party were, and I don't think I was the only one that caught you drop it.
I think a lot of people did see it on the floor, and the worst part is that I did get caught up in the shaking hands and saying g'day to people while it was left on the floor there.
And you had to do the shameful walk back. Pick it up.
Down, pick it up. I think the worst part about the situation is that surely our mate, whose 40th it was, when he found out about this, and everyone who saw, are they thinking, does Callum want to get lucky at this 40th with all of my relatives during the day? Like, what a pig.
We're the pride of South Australia, and we're known as the Adelaide Crow. We are Geelong, the greatest team of all. The West, red, white, and blue. We're from Tigerland.
Fresh footy tipping on Fresh 92.7, sponsored by Thirsty Camel.
Yeah, there's $1,000 up for grabs here if you lead our footy tipping competition. Thanks to Thirsty Camel for seriously good deals this footy season. Shop online or drive through your local Camel.
It is so huge right now, and everything is so tight. Like we were saying before, the ladder itself in the AFL is insane, as well as the ladder for our tipping. I mean, the people that are in for $1,000 is so close together, anything could happen.
Absolutely. Hey, let's have a look at some of the games first. Of course, Crows took on Geelong over at the Cattery and went down by 5 points in the end, with the likes of Jeremy Cameron booting 6 goals to really make sure they got that win. A must-win game for the Cats if they want to be in finals contention. Of course, as well, the big game that everyone's talking about, Port Adelaide taking on Sydney Swans here at Adelaide Oval. Power won by 112 points. It was 148, 22 goals, 16 to Sydney's 36 points, 5 goals, 6.
It was unbelievable. And I mean, it is an interesting argument now, I guess, with Ken Hinkley in his position. And people are backtracking a little bit after recent efforts.
Yeah, well, it's bolstered Port into third position on percentage. So they're looking like they could finish in a top 4 spot here. Sydney have gone 3 losses in a row now. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, it was how much is Sydney going to win the grand final by? And now it's looking... If their form continues this way, not great for
A little
them.
bit dire, yeah.
Now, Callum, to have a quick look at where we're sitting in the tipping competition. Kale and Mags are in 393rd spot on 94 points. Taylor for your workday is in 378th position on 96 points. And we are sitting 303rd on 106 points, clear from Taylor for your workday by 10 points. So we're looking pretty comfortable in terms of our inner office competition.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's what we have to resort to now. I feel like it's probably not looking like we're going to win the $1,000, but...
No.
I mean, we're at the front of the pack.
Well, we're 24 points behind first place now. It is Kyle H, Geelong 03 on 130, 4 points clear from second place, Zach B, Bucks on 126, and rounding out third is Benjamin M, or hey, it's Pingu on 125 points. So it's still tight, but there's starting to be a bit of a gap out of that first place. And Kyle H is looking very well on track for that $1,000 thanks to Thirsty Camel.
Kyle H would feel like a wanted man right now. I couldn't imagine being first in this. It would be so tense. But yeah, $1,000 is still up for anyone who's near that close spot.
That's it. There's only 3 weeks left of the home and away season, so we'll be keeping a close eye on this to see who's going to be taking home this $1,000.
Keen to see it.
You're with Tom Callum. That's our AFL tipping competition update. Got to have a look at this TikToker who's also a teacher. Her name's Rachel. It's teacher Rachel Sorcell on TikTok. And she's going a bit viral at the moment, gaining over 5 million views for talking about the alphabet. Now, the alphabet, we all know the song, to the tune of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
Yep.
It's being changed.
So this is an insane thing. I haven't heard it yet. I know she's got a little rendition of how it should sound, but the idea of changing the alphabet is something that... I mean, it's been a work in progress. I mean, 5,000 years ago, there were cave paintings in the Middle East for the alphabet, and it's progressed to English alphabet, things like that. So it's been a bloody long time. No need to change it. We don't need any more alterations. Just leave it.
I mean, it's the classic thing of why fix something that's not broke.
Exactly.
But if maybe you've heard your kids doing this new alphabet song. If you haven't, here's how the new song is going.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Now I never will forget how to say the alphabet.
If my kid came home with that, I don't know. I'd be just baffled, right? I've never heard that before.
So there is actually some reasoning behind it, and the reasoning is they've just broken up the letters and gotten rid of like LMNOP and XYNZ because apparently there were kids getting confused thinking there were more than one N in the alphabet.
Yeah, I get that it might be...
instead of end, they were thinking it was just the letter N again.
Okay, I get that it might be a bit easier, but I feel like you're only going to confuse people, and it's going to be one of those that you've got 2 different generations of trying to figure out this alphabet. Just leave it.
I mean, they say parenting is the toughest job in the world, and I'll believe it if I had to relearn the alphabet.
Oh, big time.